Hi and hello everybody, it's Fern. Welcome back to another Planty video. Thank you so much for joining me for this plant tag, which is so exciting. Y'all know I love a tag video. So thank you so much to Anna with Plants for creating this one because I think this is so fun and I love that she adapted it from the mid-year book tag that goes around on booktube because I also love watching book content and I do share some book content on my vlog channel, and I haven't done that tag yet. I'm doing the plant one first and then hopefully I'll get around to doing the book one. But yeah, I love that those worlds are kind of colliding with these questions. It was so clever of her to adapt it to suit planty people. I will of course have Anna's channel linked down below in the description box. Do be sure that you check her out. If you love planty content, you will love her channel. I really enjoy watching her videos. It is a gloomy day here today. I have my cup of tea. I have a candle going, which unfortunately I don't think is in the frame. Maybe I should make it so it's in the frame. Can you see it? There. Oh, and I just spilled my tea everywhere. Okay then. It wouldn't be a Wild Fern video without something chaotic happening. I try to be cozy, but the chaos is just in my blood, I fear. Okay. Let's take a sip and put this down. Delicious. This is the Tazo tea English breakfast, I think. Okay, so the first question is best plant so far this year, and I had such a tough time narrowing down my answers to one plant. So for some of these questions, I do have a couple of different plants to share. And honestly, I feel like all of these questions could basically be made into a full video. And one of them I actually am thinking of making a video, but we'll get there. So best plant so far this year, I feel like I have to give that to my philodendron Florida Ghost. Oh my goodness, let's get her situated here. Wow, let's not drop her. Yeah, she has been looking absolutely amazing this year. She does have a browning. I don't know if you can see that, but she does have a browning leaf somewhere in there. Oh, a couple of them actually. Do you see that? I can't tell what's on the screen, but she does have a couple of leaves that were not turning green in like this middle section here. The leaf completely fell off of this one. Petiole just hanging on for dear life. So I don't know if this was because I was behind on watering for a couple of days or if it was because this was just getting a lot of light during that like month or whatever. And now it's getting a little bit less light again, maybe because the sun is highest in the sky and it's not getting as much direct light. I don't know, it could be different reasons, right? But yeah, it has been browning a few leaves. This is something that can happen with the Florida Ghost, which is not great, but I'm not worried about it because we have a ton of leaves that have grown since those ones that actually are turning green for us. Even these like new ones are a bit minty. And she just has so much foliage that I'm not getting hung up on it. I still think that she looks absolutely amazing, and I had to give her this spot. She's actually sharing this spot with another plant that I'll show you right now. Okay, I only chose two, even though I feel like there's so many plants in here that are looking good right now, but the other one that I chose is my variegated alocasia dragon scale because my goodness, this plant has just gotten huge this year. It has really just grown in so beautifully. I love how it looks where it sits on my shelf, and it's been such a fast grower for me, like surprisingly fast. Look at all the colors. Oh my gosh, I just can't get over this plant. It is so stunning. I actually am going to be doing a full feature video talking about this plant soon, so I won't yap about it too much here. But yeah, love this plant so much, and I kind of want more variegated alocasia now because I've just had such a good experience with this one. I'm kind of in an alocasia thing right now. I go in phases. I will get really obsessed with alocasia, and then they will all just grow horribly for me, and I will give up on them for a while, and then I'll have one do really well and I'll get re-obsessed and I'll want to bring in more alocasia, and the cycle kind of repeats. But right now I am having a good relationship with the alocasia in my collection, and especially this one. I just love it so much. The next question is best plant rebound / recovery. And this is the one in particular that I was like, I could make a whole video about this, because I was looking around and I'm like, there's so many plants that were looking horrible before that are looking really great now. So maybe I will make a whole video, but a few that I can mention. First of all, my big box store rescues that we did earlier this year. I purchased this Hoya australis Lisa from the clearance rack of Canadian Tire, which is a big box store here in Canada. And it only had a couple of sad leaves. I actually wasn't even entirely sure that it was an australis Lisa. Obviously now we can see that it is. And this is a Hoya that I had been thinking about getting for years. So when I saw this one for only a few dollars, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna grab it. Cross my fingers that it has an okay root system. It did, and I potted it into this adorable little planter, which I love so much. Gave it a little tiny trellis. It is potted into Molly's Aeroid mix, and it pushed out some new leaves for me. It pushed out these two, and then you can see the newest ones that are coming in right now. They're still quite pink. They come in like red, like very vibrant. This is not nearly as vibrant as they were. But yeah, it's growing. It's looking so good. It's so cute. I'm so glad that I grabbed this and that it's doing well for me. I did kind of rehab it under my Soltech Grove light here, and I feel like all of my plants just love that light. So I've since moved it to my Visto shelf under Barina lights because it's kind of established now. I'm not too worried about it anymore, and it'll be getting, you know, decent light over there as well. So yeah, this is definitely a really good plant recovery story. And then at the same time, I also purchased a philodendron lemon lime. I had been looking for this. I was on a mission to find this plant because I love the color of this so much. And after I painted my walls this blue color, I was like, I just know that the contrast of this bright green foliage is gonna look so cool with my walls. And I was correct, it does. So I split this plant into 3 separate plants, and they're all doing okay, I think. So I have, this one lives in actually my bathroom, so it just gets light from a north facing window, but as you can see, it's looking stunning. And my bathroom is also painted blue. It's a similar shade but a little bit lighter, so it looks great in there. I have another one hanging out here, and then where is the third one? Where is the third one? I don't know if something is wrong with my brain lately, but this is the second time recently that I'm like losing a plant. Where is it? One is here, one is up there. There was 3, right? Oh my gosh, I found it. I forgot that I put it in this little pumpkin when I was decorating for Summerween. This one looks the saddest of all of them, but hopefully it will pull through. Wow, that was so weird. The plant that happened to me with the other day was my Hoya curtisii. I just had a moment. It like popped into my head, and then I was like looking on my windowsill, and I'm like, where is that plant? Like, what the heck? And I'm like, did I move it somewhere? Like, what happened? And I'm walking around my house like so confused of what happened to my Hoya curtisii, and then I'm like, oh my god, did I like set it somewhere and leave it and now it's dead? Like, what's going on? And then I remembered that we put it in the little Rousseau wavy mount, and it's mounted in the window frame. I just like wasn't looking in that spot, and I completely forgot that I did that. Does anybody else misplace plants? Like, it's so weird. It's like my brain gets used to them being in one spot, and then when I move them, it glitches. I'm like, what's going on? Okay, I'm talking so much, I'm almost forgetting to show the other plant that I wanted to show for a glow up. It is my Philodendron gloriosum. Now, at the beginning of this year, this looked quite sad. I switched it into leca because it was not happy in soil. It was in like it was a small plant when I got it, and I didn't repot it soon enough, and it just kept drying out. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I try leca for this one? And then to help promote rooting into the leca, I put it on my south window for the spring, or like I guess for the winter spring. So that it would be getting a lot of light, so that it could root for me, and it did root up for me really nice, but then I left it in the window too long and it started getting sun bleached. So I moved it back, it's like a long story, I moved it back onto my Millsbo tall cabinet, because Philodendron gloriosum, it doesn't like being blasted with light. Like it will look pale, it will look a little sad, the color will not be nice and dark like this. So I moved it back from the window, and long story short, it is looking so much better now. And this is like such a dreamy plant to me. It's so, oh my gosh, I love how striking the veination is. I feel like this is my second gloriosum, and I feel like the one that I had before, it didn't have that like light of veining. And I know there's like different, allegedly like different types of these and stuff, and I don't really know. Like somebody told me once that this looks like the pink something, I don't know, I don't remember, but whatever it is, I love it. Like I love just how dark and velvety it is with the veins. I think it's so pretty. I was worried about that leaf. If you watched, I think my last walkthrough, it looked like it was going to be janky when it was being pushed out, but it looks great. I'm happy with it. This does need to be repotted soon though. It's gonna need to go into a rectangular planter, so we need to do that ASAP because look at her growing off the edge there. Like I said, I feel like there's so many plants that have really had a transformation, and maybe I will talk about more of them in an upcoming video. Question number 3, favorite plant acquisition, or any that you've crossed off of your wish list. And of course, my favorite plant acquisition of the year is Begonia maculata variegated. Still can't believe that I have this plant. And this is a little update on what it's looking like. So it's pushed out this fully variegated leaf. And she's still kind of getting established in my home here. I want to repot this soon. I'm just so nervous to do anything with this plant, but I think it needs to be done. So I'll probably be tackling that shortly. But yeah, if you missed it, I got this via a trade with Crystal from Keep Growing Plants. And she generously traded me not only this one, but 2 baby plants from her Begonia maculata variegated, and I'm so thankful for that. This was my top wish list plant this year, so it feels very crazy to have this one. And yeah, so far so good. I mean, I would perish if something happened to this, so keep your fingers crossed for me that she just keeps settling in nicely. Number 4, any new plants that have caught your interest. I actually, let me pull up my little wish list here. I mean, for a long time I was looking for that Alocasia longiloba purple, but I kind of gave up on looking for that one, to be honest with you, because I have my laptop right here with the questions. Why don't I just do a quick search? I was finding that people were selling the longiloba like purple vein or something. It wasn't like the one that I was looking for. Or some sellers would say longiloba purple, but they weren't like specific on what type it was. And since there is like different purple ones, I wouldn't want to spend the money unless I knew for sure it was the one that I wanted. In general, like I said, I feel like I am pretty... Oh. Did I just find one? Okay, I see one on Aya's Tropical Plants, who I've ordered from once in the past. I ordered my variegated Philodendron Silver Sword. But again, it just says Alocasia longiloba purple. And there's no pictures of a mature plant. So I just don't know if it would be the one that I want, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna leave it, but yeah, Suhurimaniana purple vein, that's the one that I keep seeing. So then when people don't specify, like, is it that one or is it the like full purple one? Because I want the full purple. Anyways, that's probably, I mean, yeah, I like, since I got the variegated begonia, I'm just like, I don't even really have an active wish list anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I've got the begonia maculata variegated. I've got the begonia pink urchin. Like, I have been crossing off wish list plants like crazy. So I'm probably good for the rest of the year. Biggest plant surprise / unexpected discovery, can be good or bad. I am so shocked by how much my monkey tail cactus grew over the winter time. I can't believe how big it is now, and it was one of those situations where I didn't realize it grew so much, and this happens to me all the time with my plants. I didn't realize it grew so much until I looked back at footage from it in the fall, I guess, or like in the winter time. But just the amount of growth that it put on over the winter time was so unexpected. I will definitely be putting it under the Grove light again in the winter when it comes back in. It's outside right now. But yeah, I just can't believe how long it is now. It's so crazy. So that really took me by surprise. Like, I was not expecting that amount of growth to happen during the winter time. Like, truly shocking, but I guess he was just living his best life. And then another one, let me grab it down. I have been very surprised. Okay, he looks a little crazy right now. Please forgive. I need to like put this plant facing a light source or something because it lives up on the wall right now, so the leaves are facing the window. But I cannot believe how much I love the Mandula pothos climbing, because I really am not a fan of this plant trailing. Something about, I don't know, you just really can't appreciate the leaves as much. But when it's climbing, it just expands all of the colors. It's so pretty. It is such a vigorous grower. Like, I am just such a big fan of this plant. It doesn't have like super long petioles. I mean, mine probably has maybe a little bit longer than normal because it doesn't get a ton of light, but even so, like even in the current conditions that this plant gets, it still grows like crazy. It's been super easy to work with regarding chop and extends. Like, it's just been, I've neglected this plant like crazy and it is still just grown beautifully for me. So this is one that has really won my heart, and I was not expecting to be as in love with it as I am. This is, well, actually that's not true because I just put my Cebu Blue on a pothos, or on a pothos. On a pole not long ago. I was gonna say this is my only climbing pothos now, but I do also have the Cebu Blue started. But I am transitioning my Marble Queen off of the pole because I'm just not that obsessed with it climbing. And I'd rather, like, I much prefer the look of this one climbing. But yeah, I'm actually gonna leave it in front of the window for a few days to kind of straighten out the leaves because it is looking very chaotic. I saw that Barina released grow lights that are battery powered, and I'm so curious about that because I would be able to put a little grow light up on the wall, because I can't have grow lights up there right now because of the cords. Like, you know, it's too high. So I'm curious to try those out, although batteries scare me. Like, whenever I purchase something with batteries, I'm just afraid. You see scary videos and stuff online. Okay, biggest plant disappointment. Definitely when my variegated Thanksgiving cactus decided to completely rot on me at the beginning of the year. I think that this literally happened in January. I went to check on it because it was flowering and it just didn't look great. So I was like, let me just, see what's going on with this one. And I looked, oh my gosh, it's sitting in water. Okay. I just watered yesterday. I'm just gonna pour the excess water in the Mandula's pole. That's what kind of plant parent I am, you guys. I don't care. So yeah, this one just mysteriously, I I still have no idea why. Maybe sitting in water like that. Maybe that was the reason, because I do leave my plants sitting in water sometimes. And this was like winter when this happened, so temperatures would have been cooler. Plus this one lives in our bedroom where it's cooler, and I like blast, well, I mean, in the winter, I guess I wouldn't have been blasting the air conditioning, but just in general, it's a cooler room in the house. So yeah, she rotted, and that was devastating because this was a huge plant before. Luckily I was able to save and restart. A lot of vines ended up rooting, a lot of them ended up croaking, but as you can see, we have a good amount here that did end up rooting. So now I'm growing her back out, so all is well, it's fine. But that was a huge bummer, and I was very scared that I wasn't gonna be able to save like the nice variegated ones, but I think I have a pretty good amount of variegation here, so it actually looks really, really nice. So that was definitely a huge bummer. And then I would say my other big disappointment is just how my begonia palensis is looking these days. Like, I've talked about this recently. I did a whole begonia collection, updated collection video recently, so I won't say too much, but just compared to how this used to look, like, it's putting out so many leaves, but they're small, they're not as dark and vibrant. Like, it doesn't look great, and I need to repot and like separate these rhizomes out soon. I mean, I guess I should be thankful that I have this plant at all, because I had to restart this. It got infested with ants last fall, so I had to restart this. I'd never propagated it before. I didn't really know what I was doing, what was gonna work, because these can't be propagated by leaf like some other begonias. So I was very terrified, but I ended up obviously being able to save a good piece of it, and here we are today. So yeah, it is going to be a mission for me to get this plant back looking good how it once did. New favorite plant care revelation or supply/tool. I feel like things that have revolutionized my plant care this year are wavy leaf planters. That's definitely one of my favorite things that I've tried out this year. I really want to place an order for some more of them, but the only thing is I just wish that they would put out different colors, because I feel like I only would really get the gray at this point. Like, I wanted to see all of the colors, so I did order the cream and the white, which to me look very, very similar. If you watch the video of me trying them out, I couldn't even tell them apart. I mean, you saw the Gloriosum is in a white or cream, I don't know. I think it's in a white one, and it looks fine, but I'm just not, I like darker colors, so I wish they had some more darker tones, or yeah, I don't know. They only have the 3 options, which that's like the only thing that is a bit of a bummer, but in general, I love the planters. They have been working really, really well for me. I'm super happy with them, so I will likely be repurchasing, and it's nice to find, you know, a more aesthetically pleasing and also functional. Like, they have the little gauge and everything. They have the clear pots that you can check on roots. I think that they're really great pots. I really do. So yeah, I've been super happy with those. Just crossing my fingers they release more colors soon. And then going along with that, LECA, that has been a big thing for me this year. I've been putting more plants into LECA, and semi-hydro has been such a time saver for me. It is something that I want to continue to utilize. I want to continue to put more plants into semi-hydro. My issue right now is just that I'm out of self-watering pots, mostly. Like, I think they're all pretty much in use. So, like I said, I'm gonna have to order some more. But yeah, really, really big into LECA this year. And the third thing that has revolutionized plant care and my plant collection this year is consistently using beneficials. So I get lacewing larvae every 2 weeks now, and it has really, really reduced. I'm not gonna say it has 100% solved, because I feel like I find mealies on a plant like maybe once a month or every few weeks now, whereas before it was like constant. Like, my plants would constantly have mealies. So I won't say that they're 100% gone and resolved yet, but I think we are on our way there, and it has been reduced by like 95%, I would say. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with the beneficials. They also are a generalist predator, so they will go for other things like aphids, which I do sometimes have pop up as well. And I think thrips. I have not had thrips in years though, knock on wood, because oh my gosh, that would just, no. We're not even putting that energy out there. But yeah, those self-watering planters, LECA, beneficials, those are my favorite things this year. I mean, of course, I have things that I've used for years and years, like my electric waterer, that like I use that every single time I water it. I love it so much, but I discovered that a couple of years ago, so I'm not going to include it in this portion. I did also try the Nurture System fertilizer this year, and I really loved it. I actually used the whole bottle up, and I'm gonna have to look into, I'm gonna use up some of my fertilizers that I have sitting on my plant supply cart, but then after that, I'll probably look into purchasing that again. I'll just have to, yeah, find somewhere where it's in stock here, but really, really loved that fertilizer. Loved how easy it was to use for my soil plants and my semi-hydro as well. It was just a different ratio that you had to mix it up in, and that was just like very, very nice and straightforward. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I love like plant supplies and plant accessories. It's something that I find just a lot of joy in trying different things, and like almost as much joy as getting new plants. So if you have tried something recently this year, whatever, that you really like, leave a comment down below. I want to know what it is. And then the next question is most aesthetically appealing plant. Okay, I have a couple. The first one is going to be the one that the internet always goes crazy for when I show it. I was gonna pick it up, but I can't even pick it up, you guys. My Luxuriance hybrid. It is so, oh my gosh, this is a new leaf. It is actually just finishing hardening off. It's still a little soft, but it is so massive and dark, and the texture is just unreal. This plant is crazy, and it always feels so exciting when it puts out a new leaf, and we're always very, very careful. Okay, there, I wanted to bring you a little bit closer. We're always very, very careful when a new leaf is coming out on this plant, because we don't want to accidentally like bump it, or you know, when I'm opening the cabinet here, stuff like that. And I feel like we did a really good job this time, because look at how nice this turned out. Like, you're joking me. It is like the size of my torso. Like, it's absolutely massive. So this is obviously one of my favorites. I've had this plant for years. I grew it out from a little tiny seedling, and it's just one of my top favorites that I will always keep, I think. But it's also the one that I feel like people go crazy for when I show it on Instagram, etc. So I'm gonna say that's one of my most aesthetically pleasing. And then the one that I am selecting to share with you as most aesthetically pleasing, oh my gosh, if I can get it out of here, it's big. My Philodendron verrucosum. Now this thing is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moss poles, and you can't even, because the internodes are so far. Okay, this does not look aesthetically pleasing, but I promise you when it's sitting in its spot, it looks so incredible. But I don't think this is her best angle, and I think her leaves are starting to spread apart, because one is like going towards the window, one's going towards the grow lights on the other side of it. So every once in a while I will just put my moss pole plants in front of the south window and leave them there for a few days to kind of reset the leaves and bring them all to the center. Let me actually show you my gigas right now. This is an example of a pole that has been facing the window. All of the leaves are like at the front of the pole. It looks really, really good. This one's actually putting out a new leaf as well. No, I'm actually obsessed with this plant. It's been facing the window for a few days, so I feel like I haven't even, I'm gonna switch spots with the verrucosum. I'm gonna put the verrucosum in front of the window for a while, and I'm gonna have this one take her spot. It's very, very pretty, except for this one leaf that fell off, which, like, when did that even happen? When did that even happen? I knew it had a janky leaf. I didn't know it fell off though. Anywho, love her so much. Love the verrucosum so much as well, but it needs to come front and center here. The leaves. Question number 9, most sad looking plant, and unfortunately I'm gonna have to go with my jewel orchid. Yeah, this one is not, I mean, I've been saying for a while now that I really need to chop and prop this plant to start it over, because ever since I put it in leca, it just has not been doing well. It's hardly been growing. It's flowering during the summertime, which is unusual for this plant, and normally flowers at like Christmas time. So I don't think she's happy, and yeah, I'm gonna propagate her probably in sphagnum moss, but I don't know. I just, for some reason, I never think to do it when I'm doing plant chores. I don't know why it's not in my brain, but I need to make a list or something, I guess. But yeah, it just does not look good, and this plant used to look amazing for me, so this one has had a glow down, unfortunately, which is actually kind of depressing. And it kind of started, this plant had aphids a while back, like probably a year ago, and the foliage was just getting absolutely destroyed, and I think that's when I decided to kind of start it over. But this one looks amazing when it is healthy, so I can't wait to have it looking like that again one day. This is one that I really love for the super dark foliage. It doesn't need a ton of light. Flowers during the winter time usually, which is like a nice little pick-me-up during the depths of winter. But yeah, she's not looking great right now, unfortunately. Okay, any plants left to acquire or plant projects to complete before the end of 2026? Not any plants in specific, like I said, although I have been going a little crazy with new plants this year, so who really knows? I've just been in a new plant mood, and even lately, like, I've gotten so many new plants in the last month, and I still am like, oh, I low-key want to go to the plant store and, you know, see what they have. So I don't know, I'm just in a planty mood lately. Plant projects to complete before the end of the year. Now, this is a bit of a triggering question for me because I am the queen of starting projects, not finishing them, planning projects, but taking forever to execute them. I'm currently sitting in my house that is half painted. We have the Acrobar project that I abandoned like a year ago. I've been meaning to revamp my IKEA cabinets. I also want to like switch around the whole living room and maybe even like replace that cabinet with a different one. Like, I don't know. There's so many things swirling around in my brain, but yeah, long story short, hopefully I will be finishing some things by the end of this year, particularly getting this room painted. I know that's not necessarily planty, but I kind of like, to me, plant styling, home decor, it's all like in the same vein because I do like to grow my plants in a way that is fun, you know, makes the house look nice, is fun to style. Like, that's kind of part of the hobby for me. So yeah, I mean, I definitely need to redo my IKEA greenhouse cabinets soon. I've been meaning to do that for months. I have like new fans, new light panels, stuff that I need to install. But yeah, hopefully, that's all I'm gonna say, but who knows? Who knows what I'll get done. Any new plant hot takes / controversial opinions? I don't think I have really many controversial opinions. The thing that I get flamed about the most online is when I compost my plants. And every time I do like a chop and extend or something, people are like, oh, what are you doing with the bottom half? What are you doing with the bottom? Like, I always get that comment so many times. And it's interesting to me. I'm like, I don't know. It's interesting to me that people are even interested. But I have no shame in composting plants. Like, they are literally just plants. Like, they will compost. They are organic. Do you know what I mean? If I was buying new plants and there was like that component of like shipping and plastic pots and resources used to grow the plants, and then I was just composting that, I disagree with that. But when it's just like my plants that I already have and it's just like excess growth, like I'm just like trimming my plant or like not keeping propagations and composting them, like I do not see any issue with that, honestly. And for me, I would be so stressed. Like, I'm already the type of person that's just like drowning trying to keep up with my million hobbies and, you know, stay consistent with things. If I also had to be dealing with like Facebook Marketplace to coordinate people coming to pick things, like I just can't with that. So I I just have to do what I need to do. Sometimes we will give plants away to people, like if we know somebody would want it, like somebody that we know. But yeah, I don't know. People think that's controversial. I don't think that's controversial. If I was constantly like creating waste and like actual waste, like throwing away plastic or like, you know what I mean? I have an issue with that. But if it's just plant matter, then whatever. And the last question is, what plant trends have you seen this year so far? And I don't even know, and I would love for you guys to inform me, like, what the heck is even going on in the plant world? What plants are trendy? What I actually was thinking about doing like a deep dive on this for my Patreon, because like I'm curious myself. I'm like, what is going on these days? Because I feel very disconnected. I haven't really been watching much PlantTube, which is kind of depressing, honestly. Like, let me know who y'all are watching these days, because I also need some recommendations of, like, I just feel out of the loop. So yeah, let me know what the heck is going on out there. What are people into? What are you into? I know variegated alocasia was becoming a really big thing. Is that still popular? I don't know. Probably. I feel like I'm in my little Hoya / begonia world here these days. But yeah, let me know. I would love to hear. And that's it. That's the last question. And that was really fun to do. So thank you so much for hanging out. If you are also a planty creator, I would love to see you do this video. I want to watch more people do it and hear their answers and everything. Thank you again to Anna for creating this. And yeah, I look forward to chatting with y'all, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.